Hey, boys and girls, weather report for Monday, July 18th. I'm 26,126. Isn't that a nice number?
Nice.
I'm just going to say I'm 26.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm just going to say it. Sounds good. Makes me
Hey
feel
guys,
good.
I don't know if you noticed, but Answers in Atheism is apparently live. Maybe we should go check him out, see what he's doing.
Did you just get a notice? My phone just pinged too. It says, yeah.
I haven't got a notice about being live
I'm going to
yet.
say that every time I get a late notification. It's hilarious.
They must hit California first because I still haven't got one. There we go.
There you go.
There we go.
So bizarre.
Yeah, so like people that have insomnia should watch this stream. Put you to sleep immediately. So, should we talk about the distant galaxies, or should we play this?
Hey, let's go over the cell thing first.
Okay, this enigmatic cell thing that I found. I don't know when the hell it was. How long ago? It doesn't say.
Or actually, first, let's acknowledge everyone in the chat so far, since we don't do that.
Oh, yeah. Jason Jacoby, Dessel Drace, Chris
Peacock.
Oh, and Wooly. And who else?
Here.
Is that all we got? That's all
So
we
far.
So hopefully we got more.
So far.
Oh, my God.
Dessel speed turned into Sal. This is what he gets for not accepting Jesus.
That's right.
Yeah.
You've been salified or
Yeah, that's my picture.
You've been salivated.
Yes. Okay.
Hey, you may get bored with this, but damn, it's hot.
Oh, yes. It is hot.
Yep.
So, God damn it. I decided not to get a kitten.
Not to get a what?
I think you did the right thing.
I'm not going to get a kitten.
A kitten. Oh.
I'm not going to get that. See how he wants to come with me?
Oh, poor thing.
Where were you there? There was a kitten around. Was it like at a pet store or?
No, my niece basically is in charge of a humane society in Virginia. That's where I got Loki and Thor. And now she has a whole bunch of new tuxedo kitties, except she has some gray ones. And I just checked, and they want $500 to neuter a cat now.
I know.
Oh my!
It seems like we could go through the internet and figure out how to do it ourselves.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if that had the impact I wanted it to have. So I'm gonna have to.
Everyone like this video, so
I want that kitty. I want that kitty.
My son and his wife are getting a fourth dog.
Yeah.
It was I forget what brand it is, but apparently it's just like it's some sort of shepherding dog, but it's a really really nice one, and they were talked into it. They went to somebody's house for dinner or something, and then got ambushed with a litter of puppies, and they just said, pick which one you want, and so they ended up deciding to get it.
Oh, now more people are showing up. Hello
Ox and Vesta.
KCA Randy, fucking Ox. I mean, God, why do we tolerate him? Looks like the back.
He's such a lovable bovine.
Yeah, he's lovable.
Hey, Vesta.
Vesta's here. We got okay. Let's see. Yeah, I want that kitty, but God, it costs like $700, $800 to onboard a cat. I mean, this thing weighs like 6 ounces. Like I'm gonna pay $700. What is that? That's $1,400 a pound. I'm sorry, but I can buy a good chuck steak for less than that. I mean, I don't eat my kitties, but I'm just saying that's a lot of money for a 7-ounce kitty. You know, it's like, God damn it. Anyway, I feel just terrible about it because I really want that cat.
Well, I mean, what's something else you can do is you can give like a, I don't know, a donation or something, so he does get a another lovable owner.
Oh, know what I should do?
What?
Hashtag Speed of Sound is a grifter. I should start a GoFundMe so I can have a cat.
There we go.
There we go.
Hashtag Speed of Sound is a grifter. Perfect. Anyway, okay. So Sal Cordova did this stream, I think yesterday or the day before, a few days ago, honoring Dr. Dan and Dr. Joel at the Creation Research Society. He's going to honorably mention them because he's going to give a talk on his idea that multiple ancestors for proteins prove somehow is a blow for evolution. Okay. And I think he's really going to embarrass himself even in front of ideas. I don't think, and I felt bad about it, and I didn't really want him to embarrass himself that badly. And I was in some chat and I said, Sal, please don't do this. Think of something else to give a talk on. But he's going to go ahead and do it. And it just blows me away. But then I was listening to the beginning of this, and I found this part now. And we were talking backstage about it, and we thought that everybody should hear what the number one creationist in our atheist community has to say about his opponents.
You know, there are definitely some combatants that are despised, and I really, you know, I have a great deal of respect for Dr. Joel and Dr. Dan, and I certainly don't feel that way about some of my other opponents. You can tell that. The passage in Proverbs that says, "When the wicked perish, the people will have shouts of joy." Yeah, that's probably not a very nice thing to say about me, but there'll probably be some people I'll just, when they kick the bucket, I'm just gonna say good riddance. But all this to say, you're wondering the title. I will be.
That was that. So
it sounds to me like Sal just needs to get out of the creation science field, because there's nobody on the other side except for maybe the crimes, the actual crimes that they've actually been convicted of, that I would want to kick the bucket.
John Maddox,
glad if they kicked the bucket, but
when Sal heard that I had cancer, he was probably just, oh boy,
Yeah.
and even John Maddox felt bad, and he reached out to me a number of times, basically, and like this guy, I don't know. I mean, I just thought that was sort of as I heard it coming up, I heard where he was going. I was like, no, you aren't going to say that, are you? It's like, wow.
And then he said it.
Then he said it. I'll be damned. It's an amazing thing. But okay, so the whole, now this is the other weird part of this thing. I just think it's kind of like bad streaming, but I don't know. Listen to this. Whoops. What happened? What? Are you kidding me?
Every chance, yeah.
No, but you definitely, it seems like you represented my views very accurately, which is that there is definitely not one single common ancestor protein that every protein that we see is descended from. You have multiple independent things appearing at different times.
And that's an interesting every chance, yeah.
No, but you definitely, it seems like you represented my views very accurately.
Okay, he plays it 4 times here, and then he plays it 3 or 4 times again later on.
Oh my.
Yeah. I mean, he plays it 4 times in a row right here. You just sit there listening to this 4 times in a row, and you're like, what the fuck is the record skipping? And like, he is so impressed with this. Okay, so apparently he thinks that in order for evolution to work, there had to be like a cell with one protein in the beginning, and that protein evolved into all the other proteins, right? Which is like a really wrong-headed idea about prokaryotes, for one thing, and abiotics, or basically prebiotic cells and how they encapsulated various peptides and chemicals. And he will not get off it. He's been on this for like a year and a half now. He first got onto this. Dr. Dan was on our stream, and he started asking questions in our chat. You remember that about, that was last year or the year before. And he was asking, do you think, proteins evolved from one ancestor? And we're like, no. And he said, yeah, they said it. Did you hear him say it? These evolutionists, they actually admitted that there wasn't a universal common protein, UCP. And like, no, it's like, okay, think about it for a minute, And it is kind of, it is kind of something that a layman might think,
Yeah. I can understand it from because we do phylogenetic analyses based on single proteins going back a certain degree, but taking it back all the way is kind of an extreme there.
Yeah, and if you went all the way, what you'd find is a whole bunch of small peptides and small domains of protein, very small enzymes, but inside of any one cell, you would find hundreds, thousands, or even, hundreds of thousands of them.
Right.
And I think it was a lot more diverse.
Because I think Sal is also confusing the species tree, which is what actually goes back to a universal common ancestor,
right,
with a protein or a gene tree, basically, which doesn't necessarily match the species tree.
Right. And even the species tree doesn't necessarily mean there was an individual cell
exactly,
that everything developed from.
Because species doesn't mean an individual.
And it just shows that they've never really thought about evolution because in their view, it's false. So they don't have to think about how it might happen.
Right.
So they never dig into it at all.
Right. It's false. I don't need to think about how it might actually be false. It's false.
Yeah.
Don't question.
I mean, in order to falsify something, you have to very much immerse yourself in the idea and try to make it work, right? And it is a difficult thing to do, but for God's sake, people, what the hell? And then there's another guy who was, let's check this out. It was a comment on So Boys and Girls. Leroy Brown. Okay, answers in atheism. Some call is cultural Darwinism. You should not be unfamiliar with it, as it is a component of your belief system. Really? Social Darwinism. The theory that... Okay. Are you done?
Sorry. No more singing.
It's kind of cool. You're like a soundboard. Once you go off.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I hit the button. Scott's singing.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Social
So are you
Darwinism
saying
is
this
not
about
an
your
outgrowth
beliefs?
of-
Yeah. Well, everybody has to believe in it because evolution. If you believe in evolution, then you automatically have to accept social Darwinism.
Oh yeah, because that follows.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. As
what about
let's see.
Theo Debunk's statement here?
Where is he? Darwinism. Capitalism.
Well, I know
is amazing.
libertarianism pretty much is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Lizard. Inside
Okay.
chat.
Anyway, let me read the rest of this, please.
Okay.
Yes, please continue, sir.
Social Darwinism, the theory that human groups and races are subject to the same laws of natural selection as Charles Darwin perceived in plants, animals, and nature. According to the theory, which was popular in the late 19th and 20th centuries, the weak were diminished and their cultures delimited, while the strong grew in power and cultural influence over the weak. And it's like, and I told him, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, dude. Evolutionarily supreme race. So there again, they have this idea that evolution has this overall direction.
Right.
And there is such a thing as directional selection. I mentioned, I put that in the community post. But directional selection means that a particular allele will start to fix in a population. That's
Right.
what it means. It doesn't mean that it's making something better or more engineered or...
Well, also, it's a local trend. It's not a global thing going on there. Even with directional selection there, it's not happening to all species in a lineage all at once.
Yeah, did Darwin use the term survival of the fittest, or was that put upon?
He originally didn't. He did incorporate it into later editions of Origin. After I guess some reviews from Herbert Spencer, who was the first person to actually use that term.
Yeah, it's a nice catchphrase. Well, when you think about it, survival of a population, more things are going to survive if they fit their environment, right?
Yeah.
So but it's not a fucking it's, oh my God, this is like social Darwinism was political bullshit at its worst, basically.
Yeah. And it became eugenics at its even worse.
Right.
Yeah,
they tried to make social Darwinism or whatever, survival of the fittest, an ought instead of just an is.
Yeah.
To borrow from all those moral arguments. And maybe early on people did think it ought to be an ought, but I think it ought not to be an ought.
When you look at it, the most salient feature of evolution is diversity, right? So if we're to accept things, if we were to accept a social point of view based on evolution, what we would accept is vast diversity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't. That doesn't even follow, right? You don't have to do that, but that is
like to put it another way, humans are still evolving, albeit very slowly. A relaxed selection, whatnot, but that doesn't mean that culture is evolving in the same way, or that it's
right.
affected by the same processes. That just doesn't follow.
And I was trying to say, human evolution right now, the pressures for human evolution are really strange compared to a group of bacteria or bugs or whatever. So it's really hard to figure out what is it. But we are drifting. I guess our fingernails are getting longer. The area on your finger that's a fingernail are getting longer, and I guess we're slowly getting taller. Over the last 200 years or something, the average height has gone up a bit, which is probably a result of more mixing, geographical mixing than anything else.
Probably.
Yeah. So it's hard to say, but it's hard to say, if we're ever going to evolve into any,
Well, wouldn't advances in agriculture also account for a lot of that, because more and more people are able to get abundant food year round?
I guess if you grow faster when you're let's see, molecular alchemy. Hi, you're here. I agree.
Well, if you don't have nutritional challenges early in your life, then you're going to be more likely to grow big and tall. And
well, we're definitely under selection for purifying selection for most of the mutations, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Because as we all know, or should know at this point, not all of evolution relies on selection.
Yeah, let me see if I can find this paper that'll tend
to molecular alchemy.
Hello, Tangelo.
What did you hear from Leroy Brown on that comment stream on how evangelical positions switch?
A good comment by Mr. Wiz here, which does not mean we will one day be 10 feet tall. That is correct, as much as Ken Elvin likes to say, is a cow going to jump over the moon one day? No, of course not.
Yeah.
You don't have a license to extrapolate just because we are talking about nutrition in humans.
Oh, evangelical position switch. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Vesta started that comment, I think, with Leroy Brown, and she was asking this question of him, basically because the evangelicals apparently switched some of their positions.
Now, is this the part of the weather report where I don't sing? Because you keep saying Leroy Brown over and over.
Oh, well, it's okay, Scott. We know you got a very rare form of Tourette's.
Oh,
who's Leroy Brown?
It's a song by who's the guy who's saying Leroy Brown?
The guy that died in a plane crash, right?
Is it Jim Croce? Not Jim Croce.
I thought it was Jim Croce. Didn't he sing Leroy Brown?
If I could save time.
Oh, it's a song?
That was Gordon Lightfoot, but no. Who sang Leroy Brown?
Hey, Dr. Dan is here.
It was
Hello.
Jim Croce.
Jim Croce. Jim Croce.
Jim Croce. So Dr. Dan, Dr.
Yeah,
Dan
can
is
you
here.
want to summarize it again, Speed, since he's here?
Yeah.
Christopher. Hey, Christopher. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, Dr. Dan. So you were famous on Cell's little short broadcast. It was 30 minutes long.
It seems like he already knows.
Oh, you already know. So, what did you think of the fact that he played you over and over and over again? It's like,
I don't know. Did you send him the link? Maybe
Let's
he
send
can
Christopher
comment
and
on
Dr.
this.
Dan a link. See if I don't know, just in case.
Well,
He might want to pop in today. We'll see.
I know Sal thinks he's got a gotcha. I always think this. He thinks he has a bunch of silver bullets, and he just fires them off. There goes evolution. But man, talk about delusion.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not to mention that gene, aka protein duplication, is a thing. I guess in this case, it's not a thing anymore.
And there we go. There's a nice comment.
Yep.
Synced.
I got a paper here by Basu, 2008. The word I was looking for yesterday, was it yesterday? Yeah, on proteins is protein domain promiscuity, basically in eukaryotes, or protein domains, and domain being the little functional mechanism of the protein. They're very promiscuous. And what I've been trying to do is I'm working with a little Python to automatically download things from NCBI, and I'm trying to find out how well domains are contained within single exons, because that would be a really good excuse for introns. And I think they are, and I think there are some papers on it, but I kind of wanted to find some of my own, because if you reshuffle those exons in some manner, by a transposon or some mutation, then you're going to end up with a very different kind of protein.
Right.
Like I've been looking at zinc fingers. So I downloaded 29,000 IDs for zinc finger sequences in the human genome. And there are 700 known zinc finger proteins. 29,000, I'm not sure what all the other ones are. Anything that looks like a zinc finger pops up on these searches. And zinc fingers basically usually have a crab domain, and the crab domain is what it does. It inhibits a piece of DNA, and then the zinc finger will grab onto a little further up the rope or up the spiral. It will grab onto a specific piece of DNA, and it will inhibit that gene. So that's kind of what zinc fingers do at the very top. And zinc fingers are very prolific. They're like, I downloaded, I think, 1 million of them across all the different genomes. 1 million IDs for different zinc fingers. Or no, 700,000. So there's a lot of them.
Yep.
Out there. And protein promiscuity is kind of, I think, very much how eukaryotic and multicellular evolution works. Has a lot to do with it. Of course, I say every time I find something new, it's like, this is how it works. Oh no, that's how it works. Every day, it's a new how it works around here. So anyway,
did you send the link yet? By the way,
I pinned the link in the chat for anybody who.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
Yeah, wants to click it. I just opened it up. If you don't have a ribosome, how does nature select the right binding sites? Well, Otangelo, I called him Cell.
Well,
even Otangelo hasn't wished me dead. So yeah, Dr. Dan, did you see where Cell kind of wished me dead at the beginning of the stream?
Maybe we should replay the clip again. I don't know.
Should we play it again?
Is it pedantic to say that he didn't wish you dead? He just said he would be
his enemies. He didn't say me
happy, or wouldn't be unhappy if you died, or
right, yeah.
Or if such people, because he really didn't say your name, because
it'd be good.
It's still just as harsh.
If I don't know, I'd be freaked out if any of our, the people that we talk to, no matter what side of the fence they're on, died. I mean, it would, really, really bother me. Like, I was worried about Nephilim because he hadn't showed up. And he doesn't sound like he's in the best of health. So, but he did show up, and then not only did he show up, but he sent me a nasty email. So I guess he's okay.
Yep.
But he didn't wish me dead. I don't know.
Well, I guess in this context, the simplest explanation is the first we should go with, and in this case, the simplest one is he's referring to you in this video.
Yeah, it's hard to say. He certainly isn't going to mention my name. Well, I'm going to be on his channel.
I have a great deal of respect for Dr. Joel and Dr. Dan. And I certainly don't feel that way about some of my other opponents. You can tell that. The passage in Proverbs that says, when the wicked perish, the people will have shouts of joy. Yeah, that's probably not a very nice thing to say about me, but there'll probably be some people I'll just, when they kick the bucket, I'm just gonna say good riddance.
Yeah, I'm gonna outlive this son of a bitch.
Let's hope so.
You know what? I'm gonna send flowers, and I'm gonna feel bad. I don't know. I feel bad when people die. I don't know about you guys.
It's a harsh reality.
In the words of
Isn't
Saint
it?
Clint of the Eastwood, when you kill a guy, you take away everything he is, everything he ever was, and everything he's ever going to be. Something like that.
Yeah,
But
this is pretty true.
Yep.
Anyway,
So isn't it really interesting how people can have different beliefs about things, yet still agree that we don't want people to die, and
that's good at least.
Yeah, we don't want a world where people are just constantly seeking blood debts from each other and things like that.
Yeah, it's just, I think most humans are really nice that way, I mean, most humans give a shit.
Yep.
Well, we don't want our children taken away or killed in battle or recruited to be soldiers for some self-serving army or something like that.
Anybody for that.
There's a lot we can agree on. I'd really like to see all the kids in the world able to get a full day's food every day.
Yep.
And maybe these religious differences aren't as ultimate as are being talked about.
Human.
So while I guess Otangelo's in the side chat, maybe we can get some clarification on the whole galaxies issue we were talking about backstage.
Yeah.
So something else first.
So I think Rebecca, I think it was Rebecca said in chat or on one of her streams now, would you believe in young Earth creationism if they found out that the most distant galaxies that the James Webb finds have the same composition, have heavier elements in them, right? Did you spot that discussion at all, or were you privy to that, Andrew? Or is that?
Sorry.
Why would anybody accept young Earth creationism?
Okay,
so finding heavy elements in stars that we don't think they ought to be in is not the same as this goofy religious-based theory based on a particular insistence on interpreting the Bible a certain way must be true because they found heavy metals where they think they shouldn't be.
Well, that's a good point. I do think it would be unexpected, from my understanding, if we were to find, the first generation of stars were to be as metal enriched. And for those of you who don't know out there, metal in astronomy means any element heavier than hydrogen and helium. Don't ask me why, that's what it refers to. Basically, if we found distant, like the earliest galaxies had as many heavy metals as the ones nearby today, then that would be kind of a shocker, I think, in astronomy. But so far as I can tell, that hasn't been the case. do have some very, very old stars that have some heavy elements, but you also don't see as many heavy elements in them as compared to like the sun, for example, which is a third generation star. It's actually interesting because the population number is reversed. So the first generation of stars is called population 3, and then 2, and then 1.
Really?
It's kind of backwards because that's the order in which they were discovered or named, I guess. So that's kind of funny.
So that would change our idea of basically what's going on inside of those early stars as far as fusion goes. We'd have to rewrite some physics or have a different understanding of the physics of those stars. But I mean, can't we, like, well, right now we observe stars being formed, they're formed from other stars. So the only way to do it, like, okay, but then like the first generations of stars, some of them only lasted for like 10 million years, right? And they collapsed and blew up. Yeah. So we'd have to look back to 10 million years after the expansion started. And I don't know if we're ever going to do that. If we're ever
Right. Yeah. That's not to say we don't expect any heavy elements to exist back then. It's that we don't expect it to be as nearly as enriched as the ones we see today. We see it to be a gradient as you go further, or I should say closer to the galaxies nearby us today. Because everyone knows looking back into the universe is basically looking back in time.
So what have they figured out so far? Because they saw, I think the oldest galaxy they spotted with the James Webb photograph was 13.1 billion years. And I think I'm pretty sure I heard somewhere that the composition was surprisingly like our own. And I think that's what the creationists are talking about. That's what they're excited about.
I'd have to see that.
Yeah, that's what they're excited about. They're going to start saying, oh, these 400 million year old galaxies were the same. So obviously creation is true. That's the next thing, the next big thing that's going to come out in creation world, I think. We'll see it. But anyway, wow. So what else did you have other things you wanted to say about that?
Oh yeah. Well, I would say there are some pretty significant differences between the population of stars, or not stars, the population of galaxies in the distant universe compared to the local ones we see around us today. And typically, the galaxies out in the distant universe, aka the earliest galaxies, have a much higher degree of star formation than the ones we see today, and you can tell by the fact that they're blue in their spectrum, basically, like even accounting for redshift and everything like that. They're to put in kind of perspective, the Milky Way and similar galaxies like it in the nearby universe usually generate about 1 to 10 solar masses or something like that in stars each year. And in comparison, the earliest galaxies, or at the peak of star formation in the universe early on, galaxies were churning out like 100, maybe more solar masses worth of stars each year. So it was much more energetic back then. You also have in the early universe more what are called quasars, or quasi-stellar radio sources. And those are basically galaxies on kind of steroids. The supermassive black hole at their center is kind of pouring out so much energy that the core of the galaxy basically outshines the rest of the entire galaxy. So yeah, stuff like that.
The other thing they kept mentioning on the on all those live streams they had with the first James Webb pictures, they kept showing this blue glow around some of the exploding stars, and they kept saying it was hydrocarbons. what hydrocarbons? What are they talking about?
I'd have to look into that because I don't know what you're referring to.
They kept saying hydrocarbons. It's like, which hydrocarbons?
Yeah,
And I'm not
that's
sure.
a good question. Yeah.
Yeah, because and then they even said a couple times that this is what made you, these hydrocarbons. But I'm trying to think what hydrocarbons are formed in out there in the gas clouds.
Yeah.
I
Well,
guess
it might. I mean, it wouldn't be completely surprising to me just based on my naive understanding because we found water vapor out in space. We found molecules similar to alcohol, I believe, and all some of the organic compounds, obviously. But
Are you including that like massive planet that they found the water vapor in the atmosphere?
Holy shit. Polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. So like benzene and shit like that. Wow. That's interesting. Supernova.
Well, Mr. Lizard also makes a good point here. Hydrocarbons or anything that includes carbon and hydrogen, which are kind of common in the universe. So
yeah, but methane would be like the first one, right?
Yeah.
The simplest that you're going to get. And then what else from there? But they're saying basically it's carbon formed. Okay. PAHs or polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons in processing in the blast wave of supernovae. Interesting. Wow.
Does it say how old these stars were, or these supernova remnants were?
I'm looking at a paper, and I'm pretty sure I would have to dig through the whole paper to find that.
Okay.
Let's see here. 20. Okay, they're showing. So they're getting them on spectra. Well, that's interesting. Because those
It wouldn't
are.
surprise me if it was like a local event, because then again, how would we be able to detect that from so far away? So that's my guess.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't be at all surprising.
Okay, Spitzer red. Let's see, 3-color image, blue, showing the different spectra. Trying to figure it out. I'm hoping they'll have a nice little illustration that'll tell me what the hell they're seeing. Anyway, but I thought that was pretty cool. So nobody's coming in. I pinned the link out there. Grr. Anyway,
I think Andrew's too intimidating.
Yeah,
his knowledge.
Yeah, I hope I'm not.
You're scary, man. Everybody's scared of you. Oh, let's see. Oh, this looks like an interesting paper, but they don't really tell you a hell of a lot about the composition. Remnants. Oh, I suppose if I zoomed in on the images.
Well, why don't you come in, Dessel, if you got it so much stuff to talk about? We can talk about the consensus thing, since I know that's what you're all about, if Speed is willing.
Yeah, he had. I suggested a new name for his channel this morning.
Oh, what was it?
A prick who's always wrong.
That's kind of harsh.
Well, no, it wasn't. He's the one that said he was going to be a prick. He said he was going to be a jerk, right? So and we all know he's always wrong. So I just suggested that. So I said, name your channel. So he doesn't like the consensus, right? So he's like way down on the consensus.
Yeah.
And I think he probably has a pretty good argument for that. I mean, you just don't want to blindly go along with consensus.
Right, of course not.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what other argument he could have for it. But you certainly, when there's a consensus, like, like if I'm...
he also apparently wants to talk about rolling circle replication, which I'm not actually too familiar with, so that'd be interesting.
I just got this Jason Jacoby thing. I just think for those of you who grew up watching Sesame Street, if you put this line to the tune of Oscar the Grouch's "I Love Trash," I think you'd have something going on. Clouds of radioactive iron bigger than a solar system. Da 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 da. I love space. I think Jacob's got something going on there. It's a possibility. Keep working on that. Watch a little Sesame Street for kids, and you'll have a great little song parody.
Is Leo in chat? I see Leo Phileas.
I don't know. Yeah, he might
I
be.
saw him peek up, pop up there,
Replication.
but I don't see
Merle
him
is
now.
calling his name. I'd love it if he could pop in. He could talk about I don't know. We're doing whatever at this point, aren't we?
You can tell us how he feels about space.
Space.
Space, it's cold, it's distant, it's heartless. Space.
There's actually a wiki article on rolling circle replication. So it's
okay. She's trying to summon him. Okay.
Oh, I could
Well, good luck with that,
somebody
Carol.
wrote Leo Phileas.
And I don't mean that sarcastically.
Say it like 3 times. That'll work.
Yes, say his name 3 times.
Well, that works on Otangelo, and it works on Will Kincaid. Do not say that name 3 times. I already said it once. No, don't repeat it. Okay. Like I said his name 3 times, and he actually fucking showed up on my stream.
No.
Yeah. It was like within like seconds. I don't know if it was a coincidence or if it's like some spooky shit is going on. I think some spooky shit's going on.
Well, I don't know if Dr. Dan is still in side chat, but Otangelo was kind of saying something funny yesterday, side chat too. I think it was like the fact that there are multiple phylogenetic trees of viruses disproves evolution, which isn't surprising at all as far as I understand.
There was another thing that he said. Let me see if I can pop that up. Okay. Yeah, Otangelo needs to be famous for this right here. Let me see if
you got a gem picked out?
I do. I took a screenshot of one of Otangelo's
Gravity
comments.
doesn't work on gases?
No, I wish I had a screenshot of that one. So let's see. I got to shut me off.
Probably nothing's gonna
Why
measure up
me?
to that one.
Okay, there it is. And here's the gem.
Right, if evolution were true, why is there still
What? Death? Yeah. You didn't see that one? Oh, this one.
Where was this?
This was on in our chat the other day. If evolution is true, why is there still death? Another gem from Otangelo. Yeah, this one goes right up there in the Hall of Fame with the gas isn't affected by gravity. So,
is he asking if evolution is true, why don't we stop aging? Or
well, yeah, why don't we evolve to never die? Because that would be like there'd be selective pressure to never die. I guess if we kept reproducing, I don't know.
I mean, it is a good question, but I think it's
there's a whole transhumanism movement that wants to make humanity immortal by uploading our consciousness into computers.
Yeah, but like, what would happen for any particular species of beetles on a hillside if they all lived forever and there was no death, right? And they kept reproducing? What would happen to them?
Assuming they could overcome like physical disasters and whatnot.
After they ate all of the trees and all of the leaves and all the plants and all the fungus, what would they do?
Right.
They would die.
Well, I think he's actually got it backwards, because in a very loose sense, or at least in terms of natural selection, death is part of evolution.
Right.
Or at least in terms of differential survival and reproduction.
Yeah, that's how things change. I mean, if it weren't for death, the very first bacteria that rose above the rest would be all we'd have. That would be it.
Or
just keep
you
going.
could just say, like we have heard so many people say, death is a part of life.
Yeah. But the thing, like, one defining thing of life is that one kind of life eats another kind of life and turns it into itself, and then something eats that, and then that eventually dies and goes down and gets eaten by the beginning of the cycle. and it keeps going over and over again.
But,
So if
but
they're
yeah,
wor-
like how could you avoid death in that case? Like by any sense
Yeah.
of the word.
Yeah, like if that first strong bacteria that really got it right, basically replicated, never died, kept replicating.
Never
What
had
would they would have to eat each
deleterious
other.
mutations or anything.
So what they would do is they would probably start eating each other, and then what? They just keep going, I guess, and there'd be one kind of thing on the earth, which would
Now
be
Mr.
kind of
Lizard is trying to get me
boring.
to sing.
Life and death, all part
The
of evolution.
circle of life.
Oh no!
I can't say.
Y'all quit trying to get me to sing.
Evolve at Paterflop, and it's godless midnight, goddess midnight.
So
Hey, goddess midnight.
is it Friday already? Why did you put the link out? I'm not complaining. I'm just asking.
Oh, because we had nothing. We got nothing.
I mean, you have me now, so that's something. But also,
Yeah,
but also, how can
Yeah,
you
go-
how can you sit there and say Scott Duke? Okay, I see. All right,
Yeah,
fine.
go ahead.
I guess I've taken over. I guess I've taken over Speed Stream. This stream is now called the Midnight Hour, starring
You're on.
me,
Ooh, it
Midnight
actually
Sparkle.
sounds catchy.
Yep.
Yeah, well, actually, you know what? I just thought of my new podcast. I'm gonna start on Spotify one of these days, or
What is
actually once I move out.
Cool.
What? The
What is it?
Midnight Hour.
Ooh. Oh no! Are you gonna start
saying?
singing, Scott?
Well, no, Scott.
I have no idea what diggy diggy hole means.
Scott.
No, midnight hour.
Oh.
No,
No,
Scott.
do not. No.
Hold on. I will sing.
I don't think we should sing on this channel. I think
Well,
this
then
channel.
I'll go to well then I guess I'll go to Wildheart's channel. Or start my own stream
Yeah.
and just sing.
Yeah, you can sing there if you want.
By the way, Scott.
Sir.
Scott, I just want to say that what you wrote in Jay's chat was comedy gold. All
What
right,
was
it was
It's
extremely
all about
funny.
you.
Yeah, it was really funny, like extremely so.
Yeah,
I think he's rolling his eyeballs while he says that.
Yeah, I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah, I said that. I was glad that Jay Pasick took custody of Midnight after he wandered away from our stream.
Oh yeah.
Today.
I mean, I want you to think how that sounds, even jokingly. How does that
I don't
sound?
know. That's got some dark pathways you can take it there. So I don't know.
And Susie Midnight. You know what? I like mine better. The Midnight Hour.
Yeah, I like that one.
That's got a great song to it.
Yep.
So did anybody catch this transgender assault on where are we here? YouTube.
Wonder where Jason is.
Did anybody
Which
catch
Jason?
this stream? S.J. Thomason?
No.
Deep conversations on transitioning and detransitioning one's gender.
But I heard Gur talking about it on his stream.
Oh, he did? Okay, so you
A
covered
little
it,
bit,
Gur?
yeah. No,
So,
I
Gur,
don't
do you
think.
want to come in here and encapsulate this for us?
Why the hell? Wait, hold on. Why the hell did Wildheart said he wants to take his channel down? Like Wildheart loves having streams and having people. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, Wildheart's doing pretty good lately, isn't he?
No, he's not. But that's
Oh,
a
he's-
story for off air.
Oh, he's not now. Okay. Anyway, up and down.
Andrew,
the up and
what's
down.
up?
The sky.
Hilarious.
I'm sorry.
Oh, let's
I had
see.
to do it at some point.
What the hell did I do with my protein paper? Oh no, I shut it down. Anyway, we're gonna have a thing on Dessel Drace's channel tonight where he is going to school us on dumb things we atheists say about abiogenesis, and he's going to teach us all about it. So,
Well, I'm glad. I don't say any dumb things because I don't talk about abiogenesis. So yay!
Yeah.
Just kidding.
yeah, we're going to talk about the water problem, which I never fucking understood, and I need to understand more about it. and I uploaded a bunch of papers onto the Horseman under Abiogenesis. If anybody wants to see some papers that's privy to the Horseman directory for atheists only.
Is the water problem the thing that James Tour always talks about? It has to be clean, pure, distilled water.
They all talk about water breaking down nucleic acids and RNA and peptides and
the water problem.
Water problem.
The water problem.
Yeah.
You know, I really wish true empiricism was still around, because I think if I remember correctly, he confused DNA degrading in water with DNA dissolving in water.
Oh yeah. Who was that?
True empiricism.
Oh, is he the one that did it? Okay,
Yep.
yeah, that was famous even before I started my channel.
Yep, it
That's
was.
pretty cool. So. Okay, we'll check out this link. Windrose Diggy Diggy.
There's the thumbnail to tonight's live stream.
Oh my God, Dessel, Dessel, you ass. He just stripped me of the last little remnant, the last little flicker of sexuality, basically.
Is that supposed to be you, Speed?
No, we were having a conversation, and
from Sludge to Speed's girlfriend. What the fuck?
Yeah, somehow it went there, and like I just lost the last little flicker of sexuality in my old age was stomped out by Dessel this morning.
Well, I think she looks very cute. She just needs dentures. Just kidding.
Yeah, she's a cute one.
She's not my type.
Yeah, not my type either, exactly.
I'm more into feminine guys, but that's just me. From Sludge to Speed's girlfriend. What the fuck?
True empiricism was insane. Yep.
Yes, it was. Yes, he was.
Anyway, I guess we're probably gonna fucking shoot it in the head. What the hell?
Why isn't Dessel coming in? Come in, Dessel.
Yeah, he's getting ready for the stream tonight. He's got papers to upload. Dessel? Okay, Dessel. Now, if you look at the papers that I uploaded, they are what I call curated. They have the year first, the first author, followed with no spaces by the year, with a dash, and then the paper name. And I sat there and renamed 40 or 50 fucking papers this morning. From 6 a.m. until noon, I was renaming papers.
Are you really shooting it in the head? It's like 5:30. Sorry.
I'm just curious. Has Carol ever been on the live stream before? Like actually in the room, or
if she wants to be on the live stream, she needs to click on that link, and we'll let her in. Same for Stupid Whore Energy or anybody else who wants to.
I don't understand why Stupid Whore Energy doesn't come on.
Oh, wait, hold on. Because he said something else. Don't forget most Aquinas solutions contain water. Midnight. Yeah, that was another true empiricism gem. Aquarius solutions contain water. Yeah, gee, thanks.
That's something.
So Dessel, have you created a stream yet for tonight that we could put a link to? Because we're doing that at 9.
That's the picture you just saw.
Yeah.
That was a stream?
I displayed it by following the link that he put out in his... Here, I'll get the link for you.
Yeah, all I got is Diggy Diggy some song.
That's a great link too, but I'll put it here in the private chat.
Okay. What is Diggy Diggy Hole?
It's just a little animated musical thing that was shared with me, and I look forward to listening to the whole thing later.
See if I get a copyright strike for 2 seconds.
You probably
will. No problem, Carol. If you don't want to come in, we always like having new people on the channel, but if you're how I was at some point,
it would be great to have Vesta come on in too.
Vesta's about to join. Shut it down now.
Carol, the atheist has been showing up regularly and would like to get to know you, so you could make some comments on some of the streams and whatever.
Whatever you want to do.
Speed is a very
Whatever.
lonely man. He needs to make
I don't
friends.
like to be. I don't like to be on stream. I'm lonely
why are
by
you here?
choice. I'm lonely by choice. I don't
That's
know
why he
why.
wants another kitty cat.
Why do I do that? Yeah, because I'm trying to do a fundraiser for my new kitty cat.
I just don't see why he doesn't like move a really chilled out raccoon into the house.
Right?
Quick, everyone like and subscribe for Speed's Kitty.
Yeah, well, yeah. If you subscribe to my channel, I'll get this kitty. If I go to 1,000 subs, I will get this kitty. But I got to make a decision pretty quick. And look at this kitty, how bad he wants to come home. That poor
Aw.
kitty. He wants to come with us. And there's a whole bunch of others too. They all want to come with us. Let's see. I got another one.
All these poor pets want is just an owner and some
Look at these
food.
guys.
And that's the sad truth.
How sad that is. Okay, then he shows his teeth.
Oh, they're so cute.
All these cats need a home, and I can hook you up. Basically, $1,000 a kitty.
Why isn't CRISPR coming?
serious?
The link's out there, right?
$1,000?
Why is he not joining?
I found out it costs $700 basically to onboard a kitty,
Holy
get it
shit,
neutered and
CRISPR's around.
get the shots and all that stuff. Yeah,
CRISPR.
$1,400 a pound.
Does anyone notice CRISPR?
You can own these kitties.
Yeah,
Ew.
CRISPR.
CRISPR Cas9.
I was saying why, or I wonder if CRISPR, like, is he on? Does he do anything on ERVs? I wonder if he would want to talk about that. Wink, wink.
What do I have so far on ERV?
Okay, Speed, remind me, you only have room for 6 people, right? Or 10?
We got 10.
10.
Room for 10.
All right.
Oh, okay.
10 and 12, actually. 2 in the back room and 10 on.
Dessel is warning us that that he's going to join.
So you wanted me to join?
Yeah.
It's fine for you to join there.
I was,
put the link out.
But I've been trying to find an excuse to shoot it in the head.
Oh,
There's that.
Guys,
well, I don't have
way
no-
younger than
Going to
Speed.
work.
you guys want to talk a little bit about the Abiogenesis thing since the stream
We're
going
gonna-
on? You said.
We're going to talk about that
What-
tonight, but you talk a little bit about it. Oh, here's Trace. So Trace can either talk about Abiogenesis tonight.
Hey, Trace.
Did you provide me with that link? Oh, you
Guys,
did.
Well, I gave you a YouTube link just because I wanted to advertise that thumbnail picture, but the StreamYard link I will send you in a little while, and I'm going to start putting together those papers now that I'm home. I can start putting them together. I'll do my best to load them all up on the drive in the way that you've got them up there.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
A little bit of
because
research.
that took a little bit of work, I got to tell you.
I bet. And so that's why, I can't guarantee you that I'm going to be able to get all the papers that I want to go over into that drive by the time that we're supposed to go live, but I'll do everything that I can to make sure that.
Well, when you run out of steam, just dump the rest of them up there. I'll download them and I'll rename them, and then I'll re-upload them and delete the old ones. So I can do that.
Where'd he go?
Oh no, Dessel left, or he blinked out on us. Okay, so Abiogenesis from Sludge to Speed's girlfriend. Wonderful, just wonderful.
All right. So real quick though,
Harry's back.
yeah,
Grace.
sorry, some stupid problem with my phone's internet.
Before
but- okay,
Before
go
you
ahead.
change the subject. Okay, what I was saying to you is when you run out of steam renaming them, just dump the rest of them up there and I'll rename them tomorrow.
That's a deal. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Yeah, I'll start working on that within like the next 20 minutes. So that way we have all the material we need to go through, and rolling circle replication, right? This is really interesting to me. Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Really
Okay.
well.
All right. So I have to do like a lot more reading on this. I've only read one article on it so far by, and Icarus is gonna love my pronunciation as usual.
Oh,
Whoops.
Oh,
Lost him again.
well, thanks for joining us, Dave. From Topdawg.
I just wanted to say I watched the SJ stream about the transgender issues and whatnot.
Oh, what'd you think?
Well, I mean, I have there was sympathy for the people who are detransitioning, you know, people who had second thoughts and everything, and that there isn't a lot of support for them out there.
Yeah.
But it seems to be that it's, you know, really low numbers of people who actually go through the full transitioning. And I think they're more looking at numbers of, like, you know, teenagers that, you know, maybe have thoughts one way or another, but you know, and then it just kind of devolved into talking points like CRT, you know, blaming it CRT in the schools and stuff like that. So it kind it devolved at the end.
I mean, how are they brainwashing kids? You know, it's just like I don't know.
That's exactly what it was. They're
Hey,
brainwashing
Danish
the
debaters
kids.
here.
I mean, okay,
But the points though of, you know, that these people need, you know, support and all, you know, that's valid points. But I'm looking up and all the valid documentation on it was showing it's like a 1%. That go fully, you know, I'm talking about people who fully go through all the surgeries and the lifestyle and everything that want to go back. So my question was, what about the, you know, and even if you spot them, let's say 10% or something for unknowns and everything, you still have a large community that seems to be, you know, happy with their decision.
Yeah,
and
like
they
they
didn't mention that at all.
I have a relative, let's see, she was 17 and transitioned for a brief time to a male and took changed her name to male and then went back and started identifying as a she again, but now is has a girlfriend and now just came back, but I didn't as far as I know, there was no damage to her. She was just poking around trying to figure out what the hell she wanted to be, what she wanted to do.
Well,
and everybody was really supportive. And I think if you're supportive, whichever way or whatever the person decides, is probably going to be okay.
Well, I do have a question for you. You can answer it, you cannot answer it. But did she just adopt a more male lifestyle by changing clothes, or did she take hormones as well? Again, you don't have to answer if you don't want to. This is just.
I don't know. I don't know about the hormones. It probably was for a while, but then quit but you know, kind of stayed somewhere in the middle, somewhere, you know, like this whole thing about, do we even need to worry about fucking genders anymore? I mean, let's get over it, you know? It's just like,
I mean,
but I mean, identifying with a particular, you know, I don't know. I've started to look at people as being more genderless. And I think it has given me a new way to look at people. You know, looking beyond. I mean, why are we so goddamn concerned about? I suppose because of sexual reproduction, right? It's a big thing for humans, so it's like a big deal. It's like, well, we got to know. We got to know. Do you really got to know?
Well, for me personally, I choose to adopt the man role. You know what I mean? The man gender,
but I mean,
whatever. Like,
yeah, but like if you're at a grocery store, does it really fucking matter what gender the person next to you is? Unless unless you have plans. I don't know.
I'm not about to go up to go up to somebody and ask them, "Excuse me, sir and or madam, what is your gender?"
Yeah. Well,
I get what you're saying, right? It shouldn't be a thing, but it does come up in conversation at times. Like,
yes, stupid whore energy metal, particularly zinc. Zinc is a big thing, and zinc fingers are like really prolific. They're absolutely amazing. They're very easy to make. Drace just keeps disappearing, so I don't think he's going to be able to pull off saying anything.
Yeah, he says he has a bad connection, apparently.
He's making me crazy, man.
I mean, I hope he doesn't have technical difficulties during his stream. That would be bad.
Yeah.
So
So
I
anyway,
think he said
Dave.
he was on his phone, so hopefully not.
So Dave, I haven't listened to that whole thing. I listened to like the first 15 minutes or first 5 minutes of it, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to listen to it. So
Well,
I didn't like the lady in the lower right. I thought she seemed a little controlling.
Yeah, that's the Gabby, I think her name was.
Okay,
She talked a lot, but she didn't say much.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah, she was talking about, her daughter, and it sounded like she was kind of controlling things quite a bit.
She didn't like my comments at all in the chat, and she was like, "Well, you looky here, we got a lawsuit and all this," and I was like, "Hey, that's all good. I mean, if the school was doing something they shouldn't be doing, then
Right.
but hold them accountable." But it had nothing to do with CRT. She was asked what her SJ asked her about CRT. And yeah, she went off and talked for 10, 15 minutes about things that had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
But she has a lawsuit, and she also was asking for money for the lawsuit, because someday if she wins the lawsuit, she's going to show me. So
she's going to show you what? How
that
good she? I don't know. What is she going to show you?
Apparently, her senior child in high school got some kind of questionnaire, and she didn't say what it was, or if it was, in a social studies class or what, but it was one of those questionnaires about, do you identify with a certain gender, and whatnot. And it sounded like a social studies class. And this is a senior in high school, you're talking 17, 18-year-olds.
Right.
And she just, didn't like it at all. And her child, I guess, refused to answer. And because they didn't answer the questions, something about they flunked them or weren't going to let them graduate or something like that. And the whole story just sounded kind of fishy.
They're not going to ask personal. They are not going to ask personal questions in any form, anywhere you go. I mean, if you went to the convenience store, they would give you a form, and every question that asked you about your gender or whatever, any medical history, would say optional. There's no way in hell they're going to make you answer those questions.
There was a couple times, I wasn't the only one. There was somebody else in the chat, and we were chime in with citations needed, because she was making claims like doctors push C-sections on people that don't need it, and all these, and she kept going off on all these little.
She an anti-vaxxer as well, because I feel like she'd be an anti-vaxxer. I don't even know her.
Maybe,
probably.
I mean, but the biggest thing was, like I said, they're taking a genuine problem. There are people who transition and then have regrets for whatever reasons. Maybe they have psychological problems or whatever the issues may be, and it's a genuine issue. But like I say, I was looking all over, and I can't find any more than 1%, and a lot of the studies had a less than sign 1% on every study they did. So I think they're conflating, like you were saying, that teenagers, college kids, whatever, maybe they experiment, maybe they're not sure. But they're not taking hormones and getting surgery or living the lifestyle. They're just poking around.
Yep. And I can't imagine that this is any more than like 0.001% of a curriculum, if they do mention it in any classes. Like critical race theory. Do they actually bring that up until maybe the 11th and 12th grade? I mean,
that's what they keep saying. That's being taught to grade school kids and everything, and it's like
I don't know.
They can't even grasp
when I went through it.
I don't know. It wouldn't hurt if they were a little more honest about history. Like I went through the 60s, through the civil rights movement, and I lived in northern Minnesota, and there were Native Americans, and there were Finlanders, and there were us Polacks, and we'd always be making jokes about each other. I think everybody pretty much left the Native Americans alone, but we didn't have racism. We didn't know what it was. And in the civics class and the history classes in my grade school and early high school, they told us that the Civil War ended all discrimination against race, right? And then in the 60s, when we grew up, and all of a sudden it became a news item, right? I mean, we didn't know that this shit was going on in the South. We had no idea. And I felt like I had been lied to, and I had been lied to. Because the way the books were designed, it's like, oh, America the Great, everybody's free. There's no segregation or anything. We didn't know what segregation was. We didn't know about any of that shit where I grew up. And when we found out, I was really quite put off. And I think that's one of the reasons why in the 60s, all the hippies rose up, for civil rights and stuff, because we had been fucking lied to in the North.
That's why anytime I get near a child that is like 5th grade all on up through like 12th grade, I just lean in and go, they're lying to you.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I just, sure, yeah, I'm that crazy old man with a beard and a hat, but at least they heard it from somebody that they're lying to you.
Well, what they're doing is they're switching it around. They're taking critical race theory and using it as a blame game, that they're blaming whoever, white people or whoever they're going to blame. When the critical race theory is supposed to be the critical thinking of the issues and not blaming people.
Right.
Because, you can't blame somebody that owned slaves during a time of slavery per se. You know what I mean? Because, time in history and stuff, and looking back well, of course that was wrong. But they're taking it to say, well, these people were, like, we don't like Thomas Jefferson or all the founding fathers anymore because they owned slaves or didn't own slaves and everything. And it's just, that's not what it is. It's examining the whole big picture, the policies and things like that, and not blaming individuals. And they've totally turned around and saying they're telling my kid it's their fault, and that can't even be what it is, because that's not what it is.
I can hook you up with kitties, Icarus, if you want to transport them from Minnesota, northern Minnesota. So I'm starting a fundraiser so I can afford these kitties. Hashtag Speed of Sound is a grifter.
I adopted a stray cat out of the goodness of my heart, even though I'm a dog person. So
should I spend $700 to get that little one on the left, that little gray tuxedo with the white nose?
Like when my 2 current dogs are no longer with me, I am going to get a puppy, because I got these 2 when they were adults, and I love them to death. But I just wonder if it would have been better if I'd got them when they were puppies. But I want to get rescue puppies, but I don't know how old they have to be before they turn them over to somebody.
I think you ought to watch Louis C.K.'s thing on getting a rescue dog. Like, basically, he talks about getting somebody else's psychotic dog. Hand me down, right?
Bill Burr.
Was it Bill Burr that did it?
Yeah, it's Bill Burr.
Okay, yeah, but it was
he
great.
he finally falls in love with the dog, but then he had to get rid of the dog because I think they moved or something.
Oh,
and he had to end up getting rid of the dog after he fell in love with the dog that he didn't want to originally get. Yeah, he does the whole bit about the dog, the pit bull pumping iron in the kennel and everything, like he's in jail,
Yeah.
Coming out with a grudge. Yeah.
I think Louis C.K. does one too about getting a rescue dog. Yeah. Anyway.
I think Topdawg wants to be adopted.
Anyway, I think I'm going to buckle and pay the $700 to get this kitten. I don't know. Damn it. Oh no, Carol.
That's sad.
I've gone through so many animals, and every single time I say I'm never going to get another one, and I always do, and never regret it. But yeah, except for the Saint Bernard, we had a Saint Bernard, and he ended up with hip dysplasia, and it was just horrible. He died at 9.
That's another thing, is I don't want to get some dog that has been so genetically
modified,
distorted or modified or whatever, that that they've got these genetic disorders that they're going to have later on, like just so many dogs. My kids have 2 dogs that both have hip problems. It's just because they were bred to be a certain way, and that's just sad to me. I want a hardy, strong dog that can potentially enjoy life, through its older years.
Yeah, Dozer was great until like he was about 9, and then all of a sudden, within a year, his hips went to hell. Me and my son ended up buying a sling to carry him out to go to the bathroom. So one of us on either side, because he was a little bit heavy, and we haven't got another dog yet because that's kind of a commitment. But I'm going to sign up.
What I don't do is give a whole lot of extra food to my dogs. Although I will give a whole lot of extra food to myself, and I should probably take a lesson from what I'm doing with them. But yeah, because I've seen dogs that were so overweight that it was just sad the way their owners let them get. I just shut down the house.
If you get a dog, get a mutt, because I've always had mutts, and I've had very few health issues, and when they get older, obviously, but other people, they're always at the vet, and it's like, I've never had those issues with the mutts. So,
God, I love Saint Bernards though. They're just such wonderful dogs. Their disposition's so great.
I like labs and I like Rottweilers, and my dog is I've got 2 of them. They're brothers, but they're half lab and half Rottweiler. So I got both, best of both worlds.
Now, when I was growing up,
big and smart.
I grew up in like the 70s. We could say 80s, but mostly it was the 70s. I didn't hear people talk about like German Shepherds having horrible hip problems and stuff. Was that because they hadn't just reached that critical point where you had so many that had generations that had been bred that their hip problems were becoming worse and worse? Or did I just not have my ears open when I was growing up?
The dog I got bit by as a kid was a Lassie type dog.
Yeah, I got bit by one of those.
And yeah, it was, it used to chase everybody around the neighborhood. So, all I can say is, the purebreds seem to have issues.
Mm-hmm.
So, what did I do? I just did something.
Of course, the best pets are fish. I always got to plug my pond, because the fish are the best pets. They're easy maintenance. They few health issues, and if something happens, it's a goldfish. You flush it down the toilet.
Yeah, and if a UPS guy comes to the door, they don't make a big noise.
Don't trash the house. They don't flutter in their cage and flap feathers all over the house. Or no, they don't make any noise. No noise. I can sit out there in the evening in the peace and quiet, and only the neighbor dogs are bothering me. Otherwise,
So I just fired off this text message. I'm getting a kitty, I think.
Oh no. You saw it happen here, folks.
No. Why did I keep playing those pictures? Why did I do this to myself? I hate myself.
This video.
Because you want to do it.
But look at them. They're just so cute.
If you feel it in your heart speed, go for it.
Oh my God, it's going to cost a fortune. Well, she said I could drive them back up there, but then driving my Cadillac to northern Minnesota would cost me about $200. So
to add to your $700, yeah.
Well, no, they could probably neuter the cat for $200 up there instead of $500. But I paid $200 in gas, so I'm really not going to gain much.
Yeah, they have places that will spay and neuter for quite a discount.
I could just buy them a bottle of Jack Daniels and do it myself, like we used to do it in the old days,
In the good old days.
I got both my dogs done for one of those coupon deals. It's You
Yeah,
watch
maybe I'll
for them. They have the specials where you can get them done cheap.
Maybe I'll shop around.
And they even updated their shots and everything while they were there, and it was just cost for the shots, so a couple extra bucks, and my dogs are all good to go. So
Yeah, I'll work it out. So now I got to talk to Loki and Thor because they wanted to name them Short Snack and Delicious. that was their suggestion. So I got to have a talk with them about eating the kitten. We do not want that. Anyway, that little gray one on the left is the one I'm shooting for. So
our pets are all Sanskrit names. So we got Balin and Ravi are the dogs, and the cat is Satis.
Oh, nice.
So we went to another language to find unusual names. So
I'm gonna name this one Snack. Snack, Loki and Thor and Snack. That's pretty cool. Anyway, we got to shoot in the head, guys.
All right.
Okay.
We're not making any progress.
Bye, Scott.
Are we?
Yeah, you didn't miss much with the SJ video. So
Yeah, I'm not. Well, fuck. I don't know if I can subject myself to it. But if I stream any
I
longer,
actually had to dash outside and rush through everything so I could get back in here and see you. And I thought, geez, I could have skipped SJ. So
yeah. Yeah, if I stream any longer, I'm going to take all these cats. So I got to get the hell out of here.
Yep. We got to go.
all right,
Okay, guys. We're out of here.
Hey, guys. Have a good one.
Hey,
Goodbye,
stay
cool world.
curious.
And where's the thing?